Welcome to Tuesday afternoon on Bad Dog Comedy TV. This is your home for improvised live comedy. Today's special show is Quarantea with your host, the phenomenal Tamara Shevon.
Oh my god. Thank you so much. Welcome to Quarantea. Yes, y'all. Okay, so this has been a crazy week. Happy Black History Month. It's still happening. We're still doing it. Quarantea's gonna be really sweet today because we have a really good topic that I'm really excited about. Remember, first and foremost, I know a lot of you like Quarantea, a lot of you watch it, a lot of you write some really nice messages to me. Please remember to donate if you have the means at baddogtheater.com/quarantea. And then you can help shows like this keep happening all the time, right? And I know you love me and you want me to be back, and it's like this whole thing. It's gonna be really fun. But okay, first and foremost, let's get into who our guest is gonna be today. The guest today, and like honestly, and we'll talk about the whole hairstyle after I'm going through a crisis. But the guest today, I'm super excited to welcome to the show, Ajahnis Charley, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Not me trying to look 5 years old.
I love it. I also look 5 in my own way with this very messy fro that is going on.
Yo, I am loving it. We're just showcasing all the Black styles.
Yes, it's avant-garde. It's new. This is the new Black. This is new.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you on the show, especially because we're talking about one of my favorite topics that I think that you and I have gone through a lot. So we're going to talk about this in detail. This episode is called Trunk or Debunk. Okay, we're going to be going over Black stereotypes. We're going to be talking about things that people think and say about black people all the time. And if we think that there's some truth in it and we're like, oh, maybe that's our thing, we're going to trunk it. We're going to put that in the trunk. If we're like, that is outrageous, we're going to debunk. Well, you're going to debunk and you're going to explain why it's an outrageous stereotype. Is that cool?
Let's do that. Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, so let's get started. The first stereotype, we're going to be talking about business. Ooh. So this whole section is going to be about business. And we're going to be talking about the stereotypes that come up in everyday life. All right, so first one. Black people are tokenized in the entertainment industry. Trunk or debunk?
Trunk or debunk? Well, oh God, where do we, like, this is, what do we even go over here? We already know the hiring practices of some people. We already know how we are seen in certain rooms. This is not even a question. It's just a matter of fact. This is matter of fact. True. So, trunk, right? This is a trunk?
This is a trunk. And here's the thing, like, we notice it's really cute how slick people get with it. They're like, oh, it's February, and I just want you to know that I really want you on this show.
Oh, yeah. And on one hand, I'm like, thank you for these Black History Month dollars. My bank account in February is flourishing. But there's 11 other months of the year, and I'm impoverished. In February, I'm Bill Gates. In February, I'm Bill Gates.
Not impoverished!
The other 11 months of the year, I am on the street. So yeah,
it's crazy.
You know.
Yeah, so like,
It's so true.
how do we get around that though? It's just basically like, if you can recognize talent in February, why don't you just recognize it every other month too? Even it out. I don't
Yeah,
want to.
we still here. We're still out trying to get booked, trying to make a living every other month of the year, every other day of the year. So it'd be nice that our continued efforts would be more recognized. And then the other thing I want to talk about real quick, because when we're tokenized and put in rooms, like, and asked to do certain tasks, like sometimes we're asked to represent Black people in a way that isn't the most appropriate way for us. Like if for like trying to tell the story of an African character, that's not the Blackness that I'm pulling from. So if you're asking me to write that kind of character, it's not the best choice. So people have a misunderstanding of how they're 50 Shades of Black, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's like, surprise, like Africans aren't the same as Caribbeans, and Caribbeans aren't the same. Like, it's just because we're all black, it doesn't mean we all can. Like, I don't want to go and be on like a show for Kwanzaa talking about something that I don't actually know about just because I'm black. You know what I mean? Like, and people will say Happy Kwanzaa to me every December, and I'm like, what is happening?
Like if you're saying Happy Kwanzaa to me, you know more about the holiday than I do. I don't know when it is. I know it's in December.
I don't know, right? I actually don't
Ask
know.
me
So
about Hanukkah. I know the menorah. I know about the Torah. Like
I love how you said that so Minara.
menorah. Ask me about menorah. You know.
Yo, I'm dead. This is great. So yeah, you know what I mean. Like, we are not all the same, and that's why. And that's the whole thing. Tokenizing. That's where it comes from. You just think that every person can be inserted as long as they're black into any situation. It's like, how about my personality though? Did you want to get to know that?
Yeah, I have a lot to say. Like I have a lot to say about Fiona Apple. Ask me about that.
Yo, Fiona Apple was fire.
She's on a roll.
Is she still making music?
She put out, Fetch the Bolt Cutters last year. She does things on the side here and there. Listen, I'm dying. I had a whole journey with Fiona last year when she dropped her album. I made memes, and I never make memes. I made memes of her.
Yo, we are gonna have to get some of those. I need to see that. I need to listen to this album. Okay, we need to move on. Sorry.
Yeah, we can spend 30 minutes on the first question.
We're gonna be like, and so therefore, in conclusion, Fiona Apple. No.
Fiona Apple.
Stereotype number 2 for business. Black people are always late.
Listen, I can be late. But you know what? I'm gonna say trunk, or no. I'm gonna say debunk. Sorry, I'm gonna say debunk. This is not true. This is not true. I showed up early for my meeting this morning. On Zoom shows, I am present. I think, okay, actually, is there like a middle ground? Because we could talk about this in different ways. Because a lot of the times, like historically, the reason why people of color have been late is because of like zoning laws and gentrification and poor city planning, actively making it harder for Black people to get from place to place. Mm-hmm. Like intentional zoning, things like redlining. Like I went to school for essentially urban planning. And so, like, the ethics in geography is something we talked about. And things like that kind of city planning that puts, like, the whole transportation networks in North America are messed up, essentially. And that's kind of the system making it hard for us to get places. That's why the stereotype exists. So, although it might be true that certain people of color have trouble getting from one place to another, it's not because of some innate lateness. It's because the systems are in so many ways made for us to fail. That was
no, that's great.
You
that's great. And for anyone that doesn't get that, and if you're white and don't get that, have you ever waited for the Blue Night bus by Ossington?
Listen,
they don't care if you get home. They don't care if you're going home. They don't care.
No. And the thing is, TTC is a blessed bus network compared to every other city in America.
Literally.
It's gonna hurt so many people to hear that, but this is the best. This is North America's award-winning busing system.
Like, literally, I can't. And here's the thing. Like, let's talk about it. Like, the Blue Knight bus will have the audacity to tell you that the next bus is in an hour with their chest. They're like, yeah, it's coming in an hour.
And
You're
let's
like, what do you mean an
debunk that.
hour?
Let's debunk that. Debunk that.
Debunk that. Yeah,
Oh,
so
it's wild.
I totally agree. Like, I mean, I would like to say that I was also early for a meeting today as well. So shout out to Coko.
Shout out to Coko. We can be there when the systems aren't actively making it difficult for us to show up. So that's my answer.
Straight up. Last stereotype for business. Black people don't support other black people in business. Trunk or debunk?
Debunk. This ain't true. Debunk. Like, speaking of Coko Galore is artistic director of Bad Dog Comedy TV. Also, please donate Bad Dog Comedy TV. You can do it. There's the link. Gotta let that scroll a little bit. She's developing this platform that's allowing Black folks like us to have a voice, make a little bit of income, and to express ourselves artistically, and that's a form of a Black person supporting other Black people. When there's a lot of signal boosting I personally see in our communities when like someone has a new side business, a new hustle, people will share that. People will buy some random stuff they don't even need just to put a little bit of money in other people's pockets. So I personally have seen a lot of like financial support. On the grander scale though, I don't know. What do we think about like the bigger picture?
I think that there was a stigma that was instilled in Black communities about other Black businesses to pit them against each other, to make them not want to trust other Black people and to follow like white capitalism and kind of remove the Black narrative from the story. So I think that that was created already before. And I think that we're getting out of that now, realizing that that's something that was strategically done to make us have sort of like a war within ourselves, within our own community.
I'm glad to see. I think things have changed for the better. And like one example of the real support that I see, like in when some BLM protests got a bit hectic, like there are people, Black people, standing in front of Black businesses saying, move, this energy is important, let's direct it somewhere else. So that kind of like physical, real support is something I'm constantly clocking. And I don't know why I feel like this is debunk worthy personally.
I'm going to say debunk, especially like in these times right now. I agree, debunking that. All right, so now we're moving on to relationships. And relationship stereotypes, crazy ones here. Let's start with the first one. Black people love. Oh yeah, so
sorry.
Black people love Black love.
Black people love Black love.
Trunk or debunk?
I think this is a trunk. Like, I look like I feel like this hasn't always been a trunk. I think it's been a struggle to like really feel confident in us loving ourselves because the game the media plays is so actively destructive to our self-image. But like in the past 10 years, we've had some amazing, especially like movies and albums and just expressions of art that are specifically about an admiration for ourselves. Like I feel like Black Girl Magic and Black Boy Joys those are two movements that are just pure examples of Black love and us loving ourselves. So I think we love to see this. We love to see it. Yeah.
I think that I love to see it so much because I feel like when I was growing up, I didn't actually see it. Like, I didn't actually see it. In the sense that like I was really in the whole like you find like a white person to be with so that you can like accelerate yourself and do all of this, and like
Mm-hmm.
now that doesn't exist anymore, which I'm so happy about. I mean, granted, my partner's still white, but that's not the reason why. But like, but it was something that like what I loved so much about my mom and my dad was that they had actual black love, and it was really nice to like watch people try to tell me like, oh, oh wow, your dad's there, which is like such a microaggression. Don't do that to black people. But it's so crazy.
Yeah.
But because I had that like that foundation, it was really nice to see it like become more of something that we're all happy to have now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Happy to see. So I'm gonna say Trunk on that too. I just watched Love Island US and Justine and whatever his name was. I only watched the last 4 episodes, but anyway, I'm so happy they won.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also like, I'm just happy to see it represented in the way that it should be now. So yes, I'm gonna Trunk that as well.
100%.
Next one for number 2 for relationships. Um, Black people are homophobic.
Now, okay. Real discussion here.
These are real talks.
Whoa, okay. So I did make a short documentary with the National Film Board of Canada called I Am Gay that was specifically about me coming out to every member of my immediate family on camera.
On
And
camera.
on camera. And part of the discussion was me talking to my mom, who's from Guyana, but came over when she was pretty young, seeing what her sentiment towards the queer community was, and to my own sexuality as a queer person. And from my personal experience growing up, I know that she harbored homophobic tendencies for a long time. Um, and we can get all into why that is in the first place, colonialism. But um, but the matter of the fact is that that was part of the mindset she was, that she had to grow up with, and you don't have much choice in that. But when she did have choice in how to think by living freely here for as long as she did, I personally have gotten to see her personal growth and her perspective shift on, queer issues. And now it's something that she's taking more steps to embrace. And just as I've seen that in her, I've seen that with the Black community as a whole, a larger embrace of queer Black identity. So personally, I can't say trunk because Black people are homophobic. That's just a statement that I would be like, what about the queer Black people? Like, are they
Yeah.
homophobic? It's such a blanket statement. But I also can't say debunk and be like, there's no issues here. So it's kind of like in the middle. I'll say it's like a D trunk. Like
D Trump. Okay. Okay.
you know,
Look at Ajahnis' show out here, guys.
I gotta put it out there. It's a D trunk for me.
No, I like that. I like a D Trump. You know what's so weird? It's because it's one of those things. It just everyone can't be homophobic and Black because a lot of those people are just hiding who they are, right? So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I will say that I did grow up in a time where like Log On and like was played on like at school dances talking about burning gay people at the stake. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know if I'm gonna come out.
Like, I'll wait. I'm gonna wait like a second or two. We'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like this is not even a thought. This is a song. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think it's all about like proper education and like learning. Like once someone that's really close to you feels like they can't come to you with something that's really life changing, I think a lot of families and parents reevaluate the way that they look at these things that they've just been told instead of actually understanding that this is like affecting someone else's life. So as soon as you put your own family into the equation, I think a lot of people just have a lot to grow from.
Hmm.
But I think the initial idea is to have, like, this picture perfect idea of what they believe a family should be, or what their sons and daughters and whatever, but then you can't decide for people. That's just what it is, and you have to accept it,
You
or
cannot.
they're not going to be in your life.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like,
Like I fully waited till I was relatively financially independent before saying a word. I was just like, let me count these bills. Let me find a place to. I went to school at Waterloo, so I was like, let me just go there,
I
come
went to school
back.
in Waterloo too.
Did you? Oh my god!
Did you go to Laurier, or did you go to
Wow.
Waterloo?
I went to Waterloo.
Oh, I went to Laurier.
Yeah, man,
um
5 years of my life spent making
at,
maps and not knowing
yeah,
why.
yo, going to Phil's, going to,
Phil's.
if anyone, I don't know, is Phil still standing
It
post
as
pandemic?
of pre-pandemic, it was, and then because I graduated in the pandemic as it started, and then I just stayed here, which was
Oh,
wild.
damn.
But as far as I know, Phil's is still there. But like Bomber, Waterloo's own pub, is
Yeah.
gone. Is gone.
No.
It's like, do you want your students to hate all life? What are they? Anyways,
I know.
anyways, it's a hard city. It's hard.
So if you're thinking about applying to Waterloo, totally go. We have nothing but great things
it's,
to say about
it's
it.
they got an LRT now. Like,
I
it's
can't.
yeah.
Okay, last one for relationships. Oh wait, did we do it?
Well, no, yeah, you're right. This is.
Black people have anger issues.
I'm
Trunk or
gonna
debunk?
say. I'm gonna say trunk, but this. It's not an issue because we have every right to be mad. And that's just what it is. Look at literally any item of recent history and then think about how it affects black people, and I bet you'd be mad too. So how could that not be expressed in how can we not be angry when we have to shoulder that burden every second of our lives? So
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a lot of people telling us what we are supposed to feel, and putting this label just because we're a little frustrated that we have anger problems. Like, granted, I do have an anger management issue that is fully, like, a thing, but that was only because my mom used the resources that were, like, available. There's a huge stigma around having any sort of mental health issue as a black person. So a lot of big things that happen is that people don't want to give, and like, they don't want to say anything because they don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to go and have to, like, tell my mom I need, or like my family, that I need, like, any sort of, like, assistance, because I'm gonna look like, a little bitch about it, which is, like, so stupid, but it's the way that, like, this weird stigma that's happened, like. And so yeah, a lot of
Hmm.
it's untreated, which is the biggest issue.
Hmm.
Everyone's angry to an extent,
Yeah,
but if
yeah,
you
not
don't
even just
have a
black
way to
people.
treat it, then
Yeah, it's a struggle. We have like we have a lot of us have this generational trauma that we're still healing from and learning how to heal from. So, and in a nation that's not not really dealing with the history and how it's affected us, and not giving us any tools to help heal, like we're learning how to operate ourselves. So maybe we're angry, but do the right thing and cut us a little slack. We've had a lot to deal with. We've had a century. Okay, we've had a century.
yeah, you can start by booking us in March, and
Yes.
like, uh okay, let's move on to remedies, because this one's actually, like, I love this, because I only found out that these weren't things that I think everybody else does, like, a few weeks ago. So
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see.
so these are remedies. Let's talk about this. Trunk or debunk. First one: black families are strong believers of Vicks on your feet when you're sick. Trunk or debunk?
Oh, this is for sure a trunk. I think this is a trunk. For my family personally, it wasn't necessarily the feet where we put the Vicks, but we definitely were putting the Vicks in so many unnecessary places. The
Everywhere, like
chest, the
chest,
the worst part is like just
in the
outside
nose.
the. Are they trying to kill us? Or are they trying to heal us? Like I can't tell.
Yo, I literally feel like I need to own shares in Vicks. You put it on the feet,
Yes,
socks on, all of the chest,
all
inside the nose. You're
over.
like your eyes are like ah.
I don't even know what it does. Like, what's the active ingredient in Vicks? I don't know, but
It's strong. I think
it's
it's
strong.
peppermint. I don't. I don't
It
know.
it might be just strong peppermint. It's wild. Just fumigate your nostrils. It's just, whew. I can
Right?
feel it now
Okay, so that's a for sure trunk. That
for
is a
sure.
for sure trunk. Next one. Black people love ginger. I can't. Yo, I can't. It's crazy. Honestly, I don't know. Like, this is a hardcore trunk. Har- My mom puts ginger in salads, ginger in chicken, ginger in everything, ginger on rice, ginger ale, ginger tea, ginger
It's
like
so good. Ginger
it's
beer, everything.
ginger beer. I forgot about that.
I I'm healed. Coronavirus does not exist in this household.
Yo, ginger, like it's just yo, ginger everything, ginger and
It's so
lemon,
good.
ginger. That is a huge trunk. Ginger, if you just take a shot of like ginger ground up with some water, like right before
hmm
bed, you'll be fine. Like every day. Like I don't understand. Like it's the
It's
best
it
thing.
it cures everything. The Pfizer vaccine, that's just half ginger, half Vicks, and they just smash it in the vaccine. That's what it is. Just inject.
Ginger on mix.
In 60
Yo,
years,
we
I'll
need
be
to.
on a hospital bed. My IV is just gonna be like ginger ale, just dripping into my veins, and I will live.
Yo, we got this. You heard it here first. Ginger makes you
Drunk.
eternal. Okay, the last stereotype. Black people love smoking blunts.
Like this is a trunk. This has to be a trunk. Actually, huh, I don't even like smoke too often, but definitely blunts over um bong for sure.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. There like listen to any song. It's always blunt. It's always blunts. America's most blunted. Like it's blunts. Um, I I also I do love an edible. I don't know why I'm making this question about me. It's
Yeah,
about
well, because you're
everybody.
black.
But I don't know if I'm the best representative because I can't handle a thing. I take once I took like the tiniest piece of taffy the night before going to my government job, and I woke up high and scared. Um, but you know what?
That has happened to me. I've literally taken an edible in my sleep and then woken up on the floor the next day
Oh
and
God,
been like, "What is happening?"
how did I get here? Blunts is a sweet spot, I think. So I'm putting this in the trunk. Yeah.
Drunk. You heard it here first. I put that in the drunk. I love like backwoods. Every black person has at least had one backwood in a session. Oh my gosh, I haven't called this session in so long. Okay, and then
I love
now it's
it.
time for our bonus question where we drag. What
Ooh.
stereotypes have you experienced in your industry?
um,
Drag them.
it's like it's tough. Like there's some rooms where it's like, well, like a hardly black related thing comes up and it's like, AJ, well, you're black. What's your take on this? And I'm like, I don't know who Beyonce is. That's not. I'm just using it as an example. That's fake. That's fake. I love Beyonce's life. But like I don't have a take on literally every news item that comes up. And the place where I felt it most, this is less a stereotype, but just like a moment of self awareness, is like in like any history class. Whenever a black thing, a black thing, a an event comes up, I could, and my race is brought up, I can feel the eyes on me, like I'm expected to have something to say, and then sometimes actually being called out to say something for some reason when I'm a student, like it, you could feel it, and it's not a great feeling. So
100%.
that's tricky place to be in. Um, but the thing is, my counterpoint for this is that sometimes stereotypes can be useful, and subverting a stereotype is always powerful in art and comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Untitled Black Sketch Project, I feel like that's a place where we can examine. That's Canada's first all black sketch ensemble, which
Hey.
I co-created. That's a place where we can actually embody these things, take a look at what they are, where they come from, and then subvert it using the power of comedy. And I feel like that's a healthy way of processing these, where rather than being in like a sketch troupe that makes you, well, you know, play a part that's not your natural area to play.
Yeah, yeah, that's really annoying that that happens. And I totally get that. I mean, I feel like I feel that all the time. Um, just like going to all black shows and people being like, "Oh wow, it's so nice you can tell jokes that aren't like, like black jokes and things like that are like weird. Like, what are black jokes?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, what are black jokes? Like, that's just so the industry's like weird for that. Sorry, 1 second.
It is
Okay.
weird. So I have a lovely comment from Kevin Vidal.
Oh, Filipino household,
Hello.
Ginger and Vix always wanted to pop in for a bit. Y'all are lovely to watch. Ah, thanks, Kevin.
Oh wow.
Um,
You know what we called those households? Vaccine manufacturing plants. It's coming. Doug Ford, drive over to the Vidal household.
yeah,
Pick it
Doug
all
Ford's
up.
already on his way to the White House to get some of those vaccines. So just, I can't.
Yeah.
This has been so much fun. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a
Um,
blast.
it's been so great. So for anyone who wants to donate, please remember to donate to baddogtheater.com/quarantine. You can, it's like buying a show. It's like buying a ticket to this show where you learn so much. We dragged a couple people. You learned about Vix. You learned about Ginger. We've given you so many lifelong things you can carry with you. And so if you donate anything over $3, you get a tax receipt. That's pretty good. You know what I
That's
mean?
money.
So feel free to go there and donate if you have the means. If you want to sprinkle a little bit of that CRB on, I don't even know if that's still going on, but you know what I mean? Do what you can.
We'll take it.
Um, that has been Quarantine. Thank you so much, Ajahnis. Where can people find you?
Thank you. People could find me at Ajahnis Charley everywhere. And if you have a second, follow the Untitled Black Sketch Project at Untitled Black Sketch Project. It's very easy. That's it. That's all I got.
Yes, we will see you next week, y'all. That's been Quarantine. Bye.